Many agency owners are salespeople, so they get a little frustrated and say, well, why can't you just do this? It's easy. You just say blah, blah, blah. And they look at you like, huh? A client calls in and they have a question or a concern. That's all people call in at. They don't call in for other reasons. They don't call in to say hi. They don't call in and say, would you proactively do my policy review? There's a need. And so our brains are wired to solve the need because whenever a client calls in, we're probably serving another client, either just through activities or suspenses. So we want to get this client done so we can go back to what we were doing. Our brains are wired that way. I want to talk today about how to get your customer service team into the mindset that we can do cross-selling, we can do Google reviews and get referrals. And customer service is a big topic in insurance because you can have licensed customer service reps, not licensed customer service reps. I still think all the people can do these things. I know that that can be a little daunting for some agencies. So I want to start by breaking down licensed, not licensed. In fact, recently we're working on job descriptions for an agency and we got some kind of trepidation. I wouldn't say pushback, but a little trepidation on the idea that, hey, could our receptionist, person who's taking payments, call it customer service rep, start teeing up opportunities? And they said, well, no, they're not licensed. They said, hold on. Somebody calls in to make a payment. They have them on the phone and they say, hey, do you know that you might be able to get a discount on your insurance when you combine? Do you want me to get an agent for you? Anybody can do that. I think we've just been so conditioned into these very black and white roles. I know by being around enough agencies, sometimes we think we're growth agencies. Or I should say we're service agencies or we're sales agencies. And I think we should be growth agencies, which means everybody, including the accounting person, marketing person, receptionist, should be focused on agency growth. Now, that's a mindset we can train in. And the reason I love starting at that front desk is the simple reason of dun, 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 they're usually moldable. They don't have maybe some of those other ideas in their head that can get people tripped up. I think that we have to think about how can we get customer service reps to think about growth. So many customer service reps are just thinking about transactions. I change the vehicle, I take the payment, I send the certificate. But the reality is they all have the opportunity to grow your book and grow your agency. And it's so much more fun when everybody's doing it together. But we find that a lot of times that the struggle is we train them on transactions. We don't train them how to ask for those other things or into building rapport. They're listening, making recommendations. They make the customer feel comfortable. When a customer feels comfortable, that also means that they're trusting you and they're willing to go the extra mile. And they also verify contact information on every call, which makes a big difference. I wanted to start the conversation a little bit about why is this hard for a lot of customer service reps. Many agency owners or salespeople, so they get a little frustrated and say, well, why can't you just do this? It's easy. You just say blah, blah, blah. And they look at you like, huh? A client calls in and they have a question or a concern. That's all people call in at. They don't call in for other reasons. They don't call in to say hi. They don't call in and say, would you proactively do my policy review? There's a need. And so our brains are wired to solve the need because whenever a client calls in, we're probably serving another client, either just through activities or suspenses. So we want to get this client done so we can go back to what we were doing. Our brains are wired that way. But we want to rewire our brains, which can be done to think more about opportunity. What are the opportunities on the call? A lot of people in the service side don't like hearing the word no. So they think when they make asks or requests, they're going to get the word no and they shy away from it. Or they see that as sales job or that's a cold call. That's something that's not in my bucket. But I want to say that it's 100% in everybody's bucket. We have to make it our thought process that when clients call in, we need to make recommendations to them that will help them have the best insurance. What we want to do is think about how do we boost these skills, right? So the idea of a perfect service call goes greet and identify the need of the caller, whatever they're looking for. Confirm contact information. Yes, almost every single time. Unless you did it last week, it's important. Work towards first call resolution, which means we're holding the person on the phone, completing that transaction. Also a great opportunity to have some small talk around other items. Offer a review. Hey, while I have you on the phone, would you like a free discount review? Remember, cross-selling equals discounts. Confirm the next steps and thank them for their business. So when we hold people on the phone and we start operating from that perspective, you will see a whole lot more opportunity coming through. Let's start with cross-selling. Now, remember, you could be licensed or non-licensed to handle cross-selling. If you're licensed, I love these quick and simple talk tracks. Honestly, the biggest reason your team's not doing this is because they forget to, or they feel like they don't have time to. Most people, when it's slower, will take more opportunities to cross-sell. But when the stack on their desk is overwhelming, cross-selling goes down to no. You can cut that out. Where do you have your homeowner's policy? When's the last time your auto policy has been reviewed? Do you know that you might be missing a big discount that we offer? Would you like us to review that? While I have you, are there any policies that you have with other agencies? We're happy to review them. Those are just four very easy, casual ways that we can all talk to our current customers about additional lines. Now you might be saying, well, what about these non-licensed people? What can they do? How does this work? We call that a tee up. Let's just say somebody's coming in to pay a bill. We want to go ahead and say, hey, here's where it is. You want to come in and pay a bill? Great. Hey, while I have you, where do you have your auto insurance? Hey, while I have you, where do you have your homeowner's insurance? Hey, while I have you, do you own or do you rent? Those are the things that you want to focus on. When somebody's updating contact information, that's another opportunity. You'll see, hey, can I confirm your address? If there's an apartment number, condo number, that's a huge opportunity to cross sell. And I love saying this and just kind of making it an item of having product of the month. Right? October, we focus on umbrellas. In November, we focus on life insurance. In December, we focus on flood insurance. Whatever it is, just make it that product. And you'll be surprised how many people are interested once you just start doing it. But we say, tee it up. And their job is to get it to a licensed agent. And that's how you get non-licensed people helping. Now, a lot of times we even put a code in the management system so that way you can go ahead and see how many people are asking and what that success ratio is. Don't be surprised if it's lower in the beginning. It takes some time to kind of get that underneath your belt and feel more comfortable with it. And that is 100% okay. So let's move on to now looking at referrals. If everybody does a good job, they should be able to ask for referrals. This could be somebody taking a claim. This could be somebody who handled a walk-in. This could be somebody who did an account review. I think that the big key to success is going to be sitting down and just stopping for a moment and saying, hey, referrals are critical. Referrals are important. How we work through those is going to be the number one driver of new business. Now, I don't know why, but so many agencies focus on marketing and they focus on lead generation. And I do know why, because we spend a lot of time doing it too. But imagine if everybody just twice a day asked for a referral. That's it. Just twice a day. That's actually how we gamify a lot of it in agencies, is put stickers on your desk, on your calendar. And 2 times a day, did you do your ask? And keep that handy. And you might be surprised, but if somebody asks twice a day, that's 40 asks a month. If we do the quick math, because need a calculator to do math, 40 times 12, that's 480 asks per person per year. Let's just say that 20% of those people will fill it in. That's 24 referrals. Those are good, high quality accounts, right? Like that you wouldn't be getting elsewhere. We need to embrace referrals. I think a lot of times, here's the biggest reasons why I see people don't do it. They don't want to sound pushy. They think that asking for referrals is super pushy, super salesy, just totally out of their comfort zone. A lot of them are unsure how to ask. And I can appreciate this because I think for many of us, we've been asked for referrals in really awkward ways, and we don't want to be that person. But the ways been asked for referrals, we don't remember. So it kind of just glazes over us, right? It also can be very unclear when to ask. When in a service call do I ask for this? I like to say anytime that feels right. If there's a silence, and I'm going to show you how to ask, just some great talk tracks that I think are simple and easy to use. There's a belief it's a sales agent's job. Well, that's the sales agent's job. No, it's everybody's job to grow the agency. Remember, we're growth agencies. We're not sales or service agencies. We're growth, which means everybody grows. Also, if you did a good job, done it, you deserve the right to say, hey, if you know people who need help with their insurance, have them call us. Anybody can do that. A lot of times, though, still the majority of times is dun, dun, dun. We just forget. We all want referrals, but we forget to ask. So I'd say sometimes it works so good, we forget. We like to think if you do this consistently, ask 2 times a day, gamify it. Again, do the calendar, put the stickers on. We've had people put sticky notes. There's 2 sticky notes, one at the bottom, one at the top. You've taken our time management course. I understand we don't do sticky notes, but I would allow you to do sticky notes if you're asking for referrals. Here's some great scripts I like on how to ask for referrals. Now that we've completed your auto policy day, do you have any friends or relatives that need help with their insurance? And then you zip your mouth. You simply don't speak. You don't talk. You let them respond. My customer base is highly based on customers like you and the service I provide. Is there anyone you can think of that would like me to review their insurance and save them time and money? Zip it. Let them just say, yeah, my sister could use this. Cool. How do we do that? Just let them decide. Now that we've completed your business insurance and you're all set, is there anyone else you know that owns a business that I could call to help with their insurance? Business owners are actually even easier because guess what? They all want to grow their book of business on referrals too. It's a win-win situation. They like it when their sales team's asking for referrals, and they don't mind it when you do generally either, especially if you're doing a good job. I think that's the other thing, that we don't always know when we're doing a good job because people aren't like, gosh, I love my policy. okay? It's only if they have a claim or if they've had a bad experience and they're coming to you and they really see values. I just want to make sure like everybody's thinking way. It is not a bad word. It is a great word, in fact, and it's something that we often overlook. But if we get into a habit and a routine and a rhythm with it, we would all gain more referrals and we would be able to spend less on marketing and grow through good, high quality contacts. I like to also say we should stack the deck in our favor. We want a whole book of good clients. So when you ask your good clients for referrals, that's what you get. So the last one we have is online reviews. And online reviews to me are like little thumbs up across the internet, right? If I'm buying something, like I recently bought the Dyson hair straightener. I was obsessed with this thing for so long. It's not an inexpensive hair straightener. I just couldn't stomach the idea of the cost. So I obsessed over the online reviews and I really didn't find any bad ones. And even ones that were like a little bad, were not that bad. Finally, I bit the bullet and got the Dyson hair straightener, as you can see if you're watching this. We look at reviews all the time and Google serves up the people with the best reviews higher. So I think it's really critical that we engage our team into thinking about more and more online reviews and how to bolster them and how to make them work. Some reasons we get pushback on online reviews. They might not have ever left an online review, but most of them have read them. They just might not have done it themselves. Asking can seem like showboating. Won't people do that naturally if I do a good job? Really, most people forget, to be honest with you. And if you can text them or email them or have an email template handy, you'll get a ton more of them. Unclear who to ask and where to point them to. So what's the agency's process of pointing them to online reviews? We're uncertain if someone is happy enough to leave a review. Like, do they need to be wearing their company logo? What needs to happen to qualify for a review? Most of the time, people are very happy. You just have to ask and they'll leave nice things. It's just not intuitive to maybe stumble upon leaving an online review. Now, another thing I will say that I think is super interesting is that a lot of times when we do renewal reviews, like actual calls to clients, amazing what typically happens. What typically happens is people say, thank you so much. You guys do a great job. Because we're going through this process of review and we're thanking them for their business, they remember to thank us. So don't think that people think to thank us that often. Ways that you can get your team doing it. Similar to the referrals, have people ask twice a day. That's it. Sticky notes, stars, whatever you got to do. Have an email template handy they can just send out. You got to make it quick and easy. People don't want to think too hard. We also like it when you can reward a team member, right? Maybe put in there, hey, if your name gets mentioned, you get a gift card or you get to leave early on Friday. Watch your online reviews come quick. Create a texting template. If you can text me a review, I'll do it potentially while driving. If not, by when I'm waiting for my next appointment in 10 seconds and be done with it. Have signs in the office or flyers so people can hand them out or point to them. Share reviews online. So I love it when I see my clients do social media posts like, we just got this great review. I think that that's awesome. Similar to referral asks, just target that number a day. And so here's a couple ways you can ask for online reviews, right? If you've been happy with our service, would you mind leaving us a Google review? Have I given you 5-star service today? If so, may I text you a link to leave a review? We love referrals and a great way to share experience is an online review. May we ask you to leave one and help support a community business? Easy, easy, easy. I think in our head, it's just so much more complicated. Our big takeaways are that we have to get people into the growth mindset, number one. Number two, we do that by repetition and by giving the team tools and training. Asking for Google reviews, referrals, and cross-sells is actually part of our WOW customer service course because we believe so strongly that you need to be a growth agency. Let me ask you, agency leader, if your team doesn't have the tools to do this, how are they going to get out there? You're going to sit in a meeting, talk at them, and be disappointed by the results. If you give them the tools and the right mindset and the tracking, then a lot of great things are going to happen for you. Our recommendation is to stop for a second and make sure everybody's really comfortable with the idea. Do some practices. Have some incentives, make it part of our routine. Once we get through the first 30 days, it's far easier. So check out our WOW customer service course. You can get that on our online school. You can do it virtually, or you can do it live in person with a coach. Your call. We can't wait to see you as a WOW customer service student.